Introverts and social anxiety. The struggle is real and awkwardly funny. If you're an introvert, you know the struggle of socializing all too well. The idea of making small talk with strangers can send shivers down your spine, and the thought of attending a big party might make you break out in hives. And if you also happen to suffer from social anxiety, well, let's just say that the struggle is real and sometimes painfully awkward. But fear not. Fellow introverted and socially anxious humans, you are not alone in your struggles, and there is humor to be found in even the most cringe-worthy of situations. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look at some of the hilarious and all too relatable moments that introverts and socially anxious folks face on a regular basis. The dreaded phone call. As an introvert, you probably prefer texting or emailing over making phone calls. But what happens when you actually have to pick up the phone and call someone? Panic sets in. That's what. You start sweating profusely, your heart rate goes through the roof, and you suddenly forget how to form coherent sentences. It's like all of your social skills just go out the window as soon as you hear the other person's voice. The small talk struggle. You know that moment at a party when you've exhausted all of the small talk topics, and you're left standing there in awkward silence. Yeah, that's pretty much an introvert's worst nightmare. And if you also happen to suffer from social anxiety, you might start worrying that everyone is judging you for not being more interesting or outgoing. It's like your brain goes into overdrive, imagining worst-case scenarios and trying to come up with escape routes. The overthinking game. If you're an introvert with social anxiety, chances are you spend a lot of time overthinking every social interaction you have. Did you say the right thing? Did you offend someone without realizing it? Did you come across as awkward or weird? These are the kinds of questions that can keep you up at night, replaying every conversation in your head, and wishing you could go back in time and do things differently. The party paralysis. For introverts with social anxiety, the thought of going to a party can be enough to induce a full-blown panic attack. You start imagining all the people you'll have to talk to, the awkward silences you'll endure, and the overwhelming feeling of being surrounded by strangers. And even if you do manage to make it to the party, you might find yourself feeling paralyzed by all the noise and activity, unable to join in on the fun, and instead retreating to a corner to quietly observe. The social media rabbit hole. Social media can be a double-edged sword for introverts with social anxiety. On the one hand, it allows you to connect with people without having to actually interact with them face-to-face. But on the other hand, it can also become a rabbit hole of comparison and self-doubt. You start scrolling through your feeds, seeing all the fun and exciting things other people are doing, and suddenly you feel like you're not living up to some imaginary standard of what it means to be sociable. So there you have it, folks. The struggles of introverts and socially anxious folks may be real, but they're also a little bit funny, in a painful, relatable kind of way. If you find yourself nodding along to any of these situations, just remember that you're not alone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to our channel.